Hi all, welcome and welcome back to my channel. I want to make you aware of a very creepy case currently unfolding in Titusville, Florida that seemed to begin on the morning of March 4th of 2025 when 72-year-old Jessie Kirk didn't show up for her daily morning walk with her friend. But as the case is unfolding, police are learning that it began as far back as June of 2024. When Jessie Kirk didn't show up to walk with her friend, and her friend couldn't reach her, she called the police. During their search for Kirk, they received information from someone who told them they witnessed a man walking away from a burning vehicle, holding his arm. When police arrived at the scene, they identified the burned vehicle as Kirk's vehicle, but she was not found inside. As word spread about Jessie's disappearance, police received information that a witness saw a man driving Jessie's vehicle in the complex where she lives on the day of her disappearance. And while they were investigating at her condo complex, they found a man lurking around the area with burns on his arms. That man was 35-year-old David Barber, a former corrections officer and the former boyfriend and recent stalker of Kirk's niece. Her niece's name has not been released due to the seriousness of her stalking case with Barber, but court records say she broke off her relationship with him, who she lived with, in July of 2024. And he began stalking her shortly after, trying to break into the apartment they shared together, and finding out where she moved to get away from him. She found out that he found where she moved to when she saw him on surveillance video, lurking around her car and even hiding underneath it, which terrified her. Barber was arrested for attempting to break into the apartment they shared together, but he bonded out of jail. So Kirk's niece obtained a restraining order against Barber. Then, her aunt disappeared on March 4th, and Barber was seen driving her vehicle before it was found burned, and Barber was found lurking around her condo, where he was arrested again for grand theft auto.
First tonight, police in Titusville looking to find a woman they say went missing in what they're calling a highly suspicious disappearance. Thank you for joining us. I'm Jesse Pagan.
And I'm Luana Munoz. This woman right here is 72-year-old Jessie Kirk. She went missing this morning. Let's get things out to West 2's Tony Atkins tonight, who is live for us at the Titusville Police Department. And Tony, what is the latest that we're hearing from investigators?
Yeah, we heard from investigators. They are still searching, and I also have been in contact with a number of Kirk's family members. They say at this point they don't want to comment, but they are thankful that law enforcement is thoroughly searching for her. Titusville police are looking for Jessie Kirk, a 73-year-old woman they say is missing under highly suspicious circumstances. Investigators tell us the woman was reported missing around 9 Tuesday morning when she didn't show up for a morning walk with a friend, something they say was highly unusual. A few hours later, detectives searched the 3200 block of South Washington where she lived. They say they came across what they say was a suspicious man. That man turned out to be 35-year-old David Barber of West Palm Beach. He was arrested for loitering and prowling. Police say he also had a significant number of fresh burns on him. Police also say he's the ex-boyfriend of one of Kirk's relatives. Around the time of the arrest, police say they also discovered Kirk's vehicle missing near State Roads 50 and 520 in Orange County, 19 miles away from her home. Tuesday, Chopper 2 was there as police searched the Brevard County Central Disposal Facility in hopes of finding any clues about her disappearance. And police, they say if you have any information about Kirk's disappearance, to give them a call or to call Crime Line at 1-800-423-TIPS. I'm covering Brevard County live in Titusville tonight. Tony Atkins, West 2 News.
developing right now growing questions surrounding the disappearance of a Titusville woman. 72-year-old Jessie Kirk reported missing yesterday. Then her car was found burned several miles away, and police say the ex-boyfriend of Kirk's niece took that vehicle. News 6's Mark Lehman has the latest on the investigation.
Right now, Titusville police are continuing their search for any sign of Jessie Kirk. As that's happening, we're also hearing from Kirk's friends and learning more about the man who was arrested near her home.
How are you feeling this morning?
Very sad. I just cannot imagine not seeing her again.
A lot of people in the Somerset Riverfront condos say they're in disbelief after the disappearance of their neighbor, Jessie Kirk. She was reported missing yesterday after not showing up for a morning walk, which Titusville police say was highly unusual.
She's a very nice lady. Everybody loves her. She involves in everybody's life.
Concerns grew as investigators learned Kirk's vehicle had been taken. It was later found burned out near State Road 50 and State Road 520. Around the same time, detectives say they found 35-year-old David Barber lurking near Kirk's condo with burn marks on his arm.
You've never met him before or seen him before or anything like that?
No, I never heard about him.
Okay.
Barber was arrested on charges of prowling and grand theft auto. We've learned he's the ex-boyfriend of Kirk's niece and was arrested in connection to a stalking case involving her. A hearing is set for that later this month. Meanwhile, questions remain in Barber's latest arrest.
Now, at this point, police aren't commenting further on Barber's charges, and they're not saying if he had any connection with Kirk's disappearance. We're working to learn more about that. Meanwhile, anyone with information that can help is urged to call Crime Line at 800-423-TIPS. In Titusville, Mark Lehman, Getting Results, News 6.
Tonight, a community is hoping for answers. 72-year-old Jessie Kirk is still missing, and police charged a man for taking her truck. That truck was found burned, and burns were found on the man who police say may have been involved in her disappearance. West 2's Tony Atkins is live at the Titusville Police Department tonight, and Tony, Kirk was loved in the community.
Yeah, I also spoke, Jesse, with Mayor Andrew Connors, who said he knew Jessie Kirk personally, and he, like many other people here in this community, say that they're hoping for the best and hoping for some closure in this case.
There are 2 counts, a third-degree felony of grand theft of motor vehicle.
35-year-old David Barber in custody, now charged with unlawfully taking a vehicle belonging to 72-year-old Jessie Kirk.
Family members
and friends, they advised that the subject who was driving the vehicle did not have the authorization to be in physical control of the vehicle.
Kirk was reported missing after she didn't show up for a morning walk with a friend. An arrest report we received on Wednesday says one witness saw Barber driving Kirk's white Navigator truck. Her vehicle was found burned near State Roads 50 and 520, about 19 miles away from her condo. At that scene, that's where another witness allegedly told police she saw a white man walking away from the burning truck holding his right arm. Police say when they arrested Barber in Titusville near Kirk's condo, he had fresh burns on his arm.
I think it was a shock to everybody, and I think you probably saw the outpouring of support on social media. Everybody in this community loves her.
Titusville Mayor Andrew Connors says Kirk was a champion of the city and the Space Coast, and processing her not being around is hard.
It's still not real, to a lot of us. So I don't think we've coped very well with it.
At the center of her disappearance is this former corrections deputy who now returns to the county jail, but on the wrong side of the law. 35-year-old David Barber booked into jail this morning. Titusville police say Kirk's car was found on fire, and she never met up with her friend she went on a walk with every single day.
Yeah, News 6's James Barbero is at the jail with the latest developments.
This first appearance today was our first look at David Barber, who for the time being, police say they've arrested for stealing the missing woman's car and then for loitering at an apartment building across the street from her condo. Barber's familiar with the jail. The Brevard Sheriff's Office tells me that he worked here for 4 years, from 2018 to 2022, leaving on his own terms and never getting in any trouble.
All right, your name, please?
David Barber. But now, as 72-year-old Jessie Kirk is still missing, Judge Michelle Baker is ordering that Barber stay here in jail without a bond.
I do find probable cause for the arrest. Are you going to hire an attorney? Or do you want me to consider appointing public defender?
Public defender, please.
He qualifies.
Public defender appointed.
A new arrest report from Titusville Police tells us that Barber's ex-girlfriend is Jesse Kirk's niece. I went on to read that when police found Barber and they confronted him, he was asked why he tried to avoid them. He said, "I don't feel I should answer that at this time."
I'm rereading the arrest affidavit. A lot of suspicious activity as far as moving the cars around.
I don't see where the owner of the vehicle, the alleged victim in the case, had not given him permission or had actively told him that she did not want him driving the car.
It was reported stolen. I think that takes it out of any doubt.
In Brevard County, I'm James Sparvero, Getting Results News 6.
Now, getting arrested means Barber violated the conditions of another arrest for a different crime just a couple of months ago. This is surveillance video from when Rockledge police say he was stalking his ex-girlfriend.
And the interesting thing is that ex-girlfriend is Jesse Kirk's niece. And that tidbit of information caught the attention of News 6 investigator Mike DeForest.
Yeah, Mike joins us now live in studio. And these are some troubling allegations, Mike.
The missing woman's niece claims that after they broke up, David Barber harassed her and then repeatedly showed up at her home uninvited. According to police, Barber even tried to break into an apartment that he previously shared with his ex-girlfriend.
Your name, please?
David Barber.
As David Barber is locked up in jail, charged with stealing a missing woman's vehicle, we're learning more about his connection to that missing Titusville woman, 72-year-old Jesse Kirk. Police reports show Kirk's niece dated Barber for 3 years. News 6 is not identifying the niece since she claims to be a stalking victim. In this request for a restraining order, the woman claims she broke up with Barber in June because he was posting sexually explicit pictures of her on various pornographic websites without her permission. The woman says she moved out of the Brevard County apartment she once shared with Barber and secretly moved into this Orange County apartment. But since last summer, the woman claims Barber has repeatedly been caught on camera here, rummaging through her garbage with gloves on, hiding next to her car late at night, and crawling underneath her vehicle. I am terrified of his actions and fearful he is trying to sabotage my vehicle or follow me to an unsafe location and attack or kill me, the ex-girlfriend wrote. A judge granted a temporary injunction against Barber. Then this happened. Rockledge police say this video from a Ring doorbell camera shows Barber returning to the Brevard County apartment he previously shared with his ex and placing tape over the lens. The new tenant of that apartment says Barber returned a few days later and tried to get in the door with a key. Authorities arrested Barber and charged him with attempted burglary. While out of jail on bond awaiting trial, investigators say Barber stole an SUV that belonged to his ex-girlfriend's aunt and lit it on fire. Now that aunt, Jesse Kirk, is missing. Now, prior to the woman getting a restraining order, which remains in effect today, Barber reportedly tried to send an email to his ex-girlfriend through her attorney. Now, in that email, Barber expressed his love for his ex and says, quote, "Please don't let your fear get the better of you. Please don't run away from this relationship." But she was clearly running based on the way you can read her request for this restraining order that was granted.
And in some of those details, she says he was hiding under her car and going through her trash.
Frightening.
Multiple times at a different home that she said she didn't know he had even realized where she had moved to. Now, again, this is the missing woman's niece, but certainly law enforcement is looking at what connection he may have had the day that the mother or the aunt disappeared in Titusville.
Yeah, and she's such a prominent person in that community, so a lot of people are looking for her, and hopefully, we never know how these things will turn out, but hopefully we'll get some results here. Mike, thank you.
Mike DeForest, we appreciate it.
This story is endlessly creepy. And Barber is obviously dangerous. And even though police haven't yet charged him with Kirk's disappearance, he's obviously their number one suspect. And they haven't found Kirk yet, so they have no answers to give her worried family and friends. News reports are saying Jesse Kirk was very well known in her community, and she sat on the boards of a number of nonprofits. She's being described as a kind-hearted and charitable person, and everyone who loves her wants to know where she is. David Barber was a corrections deputy with the Brevard County Sheriff's Office from January 2018 until he resigned in January of 2022. Now, he's accused of being a POS stalker, a car thief, and God knows what else. I'll be praying that Jessie Kirk is found safe soon. Please, consider sharing out her photo and information to help get the word out that she's missing. And thank you for taking the time to listen to her story, as terrifying as it is. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you on my next video.